The human need to explore is deep within all of us. Our ancestors crossed mountain ranges, sailed open oceans to map new lands, and sought out the unknown while always looking to the stars. We're curious, and now we're at a place where we can pioneer new horizons. Because Earth, this blue planet, and all its beauty, is just our starting place.
It's time to
5,
go again.
4, command engine start, 2, 1.
Oh yeah, look at her go.
5,000 feet and climbing.
Yes, guys, we're doing it.
Now is the time to open the promise of space to all and lay the way for generations to come. When our descendants look to the stars, perhaps from a rocky moon or colonies floating in open space, they'll remember this time. When they reflect on where it started, they'll remember this place. And when they honor those first explorers who said, "Let's go," they'll remember these bold steps. We are of blue origin. And this is just the beginning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to New Shepard's 7th human flight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ariane Cornell here on the desk at our headquarters in Kent, Washington, joined today by my co-host, Jackie Cortez, who's our Senior Director of Civil Space. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning, Ariane. Thank you so much for that kind intro. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And actually, I think we have a special third host at the desk today.
Yes, it is true. I indeed have a future astronaut in here that's joining us, but she's a little camera shy, and it's still a little early here on the West Coast, so she's just going to hang out under the desk, if that's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, let's get into it and let's talk about the real stars of the show today, our astronauts, who right now are just about to walk across the launch tower. We're going to keep our eyes peeled for that, and they're going to ingress into the crew capsule for today's flight. Now, we can't wait to tell you about them and their stories. And just like many of you watching at home, these 6 people have dreamed of a chance to go to space since they were kids.
And we can totally resonate with that. I mean, Ariane, you're a well-known personality
Jackie,
here at Blue.
You flatter.
It's true. I remember seeing you at the desk just like this one for our earliest New Shepard launches way back when. And I actually was super excited to sit with you for one of our first human flights, one of our very early crewed flights on New Shepard. How does it feel to be back?
It feels great. I mean, I can tell you that we have upgraded ourselves a little bit since some of our
first... A little more high-tech.
A little more high-tech since our first webcast, but it's so great to be back. I love being able to share the New Shepard and Blue Origin story.
It's so awesome, Ariane. And how's it been working on Blue Ring, which is one of your new roles?
Fantastic. I mean, Blue Ring is one of the, people think that we're just a rocket company here at Blue Origin, certainly with New Shepard and New Glenn, obviously, but we're really expanding both in scale and scope. As Jackie mentioned, I'm working now on the Blue Ring project. Jackie, you spend quite a bit of time on our lunar program. We've got our space systems development team that's coming up with all sorts of interesting future projects. So there's a lot going on, and I think that the company has really evolved, much like our webcast from, I think the first one I did was New Shepard 5, so this is the 25th, so we've done about 20 since then. And it's just been wonderful to see how the company and our programs evolved. Main one among that, of course, New Shepard, that's gone from testing through our first human flight in 2021, and now this new chapter with each one of these successive human space flights opening space for all.
Absolutely. And Ariane, the stuff you've seen over your career at Blue Origin, truly incredible. And I have to say, we're approaching some major milestones here, especially for our New Glenn team. Very exciting time.
Yeah, Jackie, we've got lots of exciting things happening. We're going to spend a lot more time on it, but I mean, New Glenn is ramping up for its first flight at later on this year, which is huge. So shout out to that team that is running 1,000 miles an hour to get that rocket ready to go. It's really, really exciting.
Yeah, and having worked really, really closely with our Lunar Permanence project here at Blue Origin, I'm so excited for obviously our first New Glenn launch, and then I'm excited for our first Mark 1, our Blue Moon Mark 1 lander. That's coming up pretty soon here too, so it's going to be really exciting to take a moonshot.
Yeah, literally. Do you want to talk a little bit, Jackie, about Mark 1, and of course, we're assuming after Mark 1 is Mark 2. You want to talk a little bit about our lunar program?
Yeah, absolutely, Ariane. We were so honored, thrilled. No adjective is enough to describe how excited we were to be selected for the Human Landing System program with NASA. And so under that program, we're building a large Blue Moon Mark II lander. So starting with that, it can hold 4 astronauts, or it can carry 20,000 kilograms to the lunar surface. So definitely a heavy-duty lander there. And as some really critical precursors, we're flying the Blue Moon Mark I lander, which is actually pretty large in and of itself. It can carry 3,000 kilograms to the lunar surface in a single New Glenn. So that's actually coming up here very early in 2025. So we're excited about that.
That's huge. And, I think one of the things that we've talked about is going back to the moon, but this time to stay, and to be able to put all of the infrastructure down that you need to be able to stay in that sort of environment. It takes, you got to have a lot of mass that you can take up there.
Absolutely. And you mentioned earlier Space Systems Development, our advanced group doing some really exciting future concepts work, and a really awesome partnership they're working on with NASA is on in situ resource utilization. And so we're working on a public-private partnership that actually turns lunar regolith simulant, so the moon dust, an Earth-based simulant, into usable commodities like solar cells, aluminum wire, and then hopefully someday propellant for our hydrogen-based lander. So it's really cool stuff.
Oh, that's crazy. And people say, oh, well, we've been back, we've been to the moon, why are we going back? They didn't have that in the 60s and early 70s when we were on the moon previously. So isn't it just really cool to see and to think about talk about chapters, what this next chapter on the moon could really look like?
It's honestly such an exciting time, and it's an exciting time globally. The Artemis program has really, captured the exciting attention all across the world. So NASA and U.S. industry are, of course, leaders, but to see that global excitement around Moon to Mars and the effort to return to the moon sustainably, it's really exciting.
And yeah, as you said, a global effort, international. As you said, the Artemis program and how many countries have signed the Artemis Accords. It's really exciting, and it's in line with what we talk about here at Blue Origin, which is, we want, it's not just going to be one country or one hemisphere going to space and developing space. It's going to be everybody. Okay, well, we're at T-minus 33 minutes to go until launch, and I understand that we have our astronauts that are crossing the launch tower. You see they go from what is basically the emergency shelter. You can see an orange windsock at the top of the emergency shelter on the left-hand tower, and they will cross the bridge to get to the crew access tower, and from there they will walk across the gantry and into the capsule itself. With that, why don't we throw it over to the rocket and watch for our astronauts as they take their final steps into the rocket. Welcome back, everybody. We're T-minus 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go until launch. Now, while a little scratchy there, what we did here is indeed we are go for launch on New Shepard's 25th mission to space and our 7th human mission to space. And now that we're go for launch, which, by the way, never gets old to hear, why don't we go ahead and meet today's crew? Jackie, take it away.
Let's do it, Ariane. In seat number 1 is Ken Hess, a software engineer and entrepreneur with a lifelong passion for flight. In 2001, Ken started the nonprofit Science Buddies, a K-12 program created to improve STEAM literacy. And flight is just in Ken's blood. This is really cool, Ariane. Back in 1922, Ken's great-uncle Franklin stepped into the literal future when he flew a Curtiss Model F flying boat. You heard that right, flying boat.
That was cool.
And like his uncle, Ken will be a pioneer in his own right today, helping to open up the frontier of space. In seat 2, we have Carol Schaller, a retired CPA from the best state in the United States, Pennsylvania.
You're a little biased, I think. I think that's what we're reading.
Just a little. In 2017, Carol's doctor told her that she would likely go blind. And since then, she's made it her mission to see the whole world. And she has. She's covered 25 countries. She's been to Mount Everest Base Camp. She's trekked the Uganda forests. She's seen mountain gorillas, camped on the Antarctic plains at 20 below zero. Clearly, nothing is holding Carol back. She told us that seeing Earth from space will fulfill her lifelong dream.
Now, next we have Sylvain Chiron on seat number 3. Sylvain is the founder of Brasserie Mont Blanc, one of the largest craft breweries in France. And he was born in the French Alps, grew up skiing in his backyard, but importantly is connected to today. He earned his pilot's license at age 16 and has been flying airplanes ever since. So aerospace is certainly in this man's blood. In seat number 4, we have Ed Dwight. Ed was selected as the nation's first black astronaut candidate in 1961 after completing the elite U.S. Air Force flight training program, known at the time as a pathway to the astronaut corps. Now, Ed left the military in 1966, unfortunately not having gone to space at that point. But he became an entrepreneur, and ultimately he fulfilled his other childhood dream of becoming an artist. And now we have had the great pleasure of sitting down with Ed in his studio earlier this year. Let's check it out.
So let's walk this way into the studio. There's a group of people who know me as Ed Dwight, the artist. And they had no idea that I was involved in any kind of thing about space. I was going to be the first black astronaut. I completed astronaut training. Everything that we did, I did, and I did it well. And if politics had changed, I would have gone to space in some kind of capacity. Everybody has this thing about how angry I must have been, how disappointed I must have been. As I look at it philosophically, my role in the whole process was to open up a conversation about blacks in space. And so I served a purpose, and I was very, very proud of it. I started out with this art career about 45 years ago, and I had never sculpted before in my life. At the time, there was no way to find any black imagery in city parks, museums, galleries, and I thought the black people have contributed to America needs to be honored. I thought the whole idea of going to space with Blue Origin was a fascinating last chapter.
He would have been the first black astronaut. That is history that needs to be changed.
There are a lot of people that are happy, and I'm more worried about making other people happy than making myself happy, so that all worked out. But when the rocket is roaring and the rumbling and the noise, I think that I would enjoy the hell out of. I really, really want to do this because each person that goes up there all of a sudden has a totally different perspective of this little place here. Space can bring people together. If everybody went to space for a space mission and say, oh my God, this place is workable. Oh, it's workable. Let's go back and make it work.
I have to agree with Ed there. Earth is very workable. It's a workable paradise. Now, it's an honor to fly Ed on board today.
It truly is. And next, in seat number 5, we have Gopi Thotakura. Gopi is co-founder of Preserve Life Corps, a global center for holistic wellness and applied health. He's a lifelong pilot and aviator. And fun fact for you, Ariane, Gopi learned how to fly before he learned to drive a car.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, and I don't even like driving, so I am extra impressed here. And Gopi flies jets, bush planes, aerobatics, seaplanes, you name it, and he flies it. It's pretty amazing.
I love it. Now, last but not least is Mason Angel in seat number 6. Mason is the founder of Industrious Ventures, a VC fund supporting early stage companies. And Mason calls Colorado home, where you might find him skiing or hiking in the Rockies with his dog, who is named Leo. And yes, Jackie, that does stand for low Earth orbit. So in case it wasn't clear, we've got a couple of aerospace nerds on board. They fit right in here at Blue Origin.
Yeah, when you have a dog named Leo, you're a certified space nerd.
It's a sign.
It's official. And with Mason, that rounds out our crew today. 6 incredible people that are all ready to have the ride of their life on New Shepard.
Now, ride of their life indeed is coming up here in just 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go until launch. Now, Jackie, at 2 minutes is when we go into our bit checks, our built-in tests. But just as importantly, more importantly, the rocket goes into its autonomous mode. So at that point, mission control is there, but they turn the show over to the rocket. So what we're going to be looking for there, the aft fins. So you see a couple of the fins sticking out there at the base of the rocket. Those are going to move back and forth. We want to make sure they have a full range of motion. We will then also keep an eye out for the BE-3 engine at the base of the rocket to gimbal. So the BE-3 engine, there's one of those at the base of the rocket, liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, propelling New Shepard today. And as you mentioned earlier in the show, as we see the rocket lift off, what is expelled is just steam. So people have asked, well, how clean is this rocket? We expel steam as it goes up into space, which is just to wrap into this whole idea of millions of people living and working in space for the benefit of Earth. We want to make sure that we are not contributing negatively. So, of course, that's a wonderful part of New Shepard. So with that, we're going to keep an eye out here for the last-minute checks on the vehicle. We do see that the gantry has been retracted, which means it is showtime. There you go at the base of the rocket. You see the fins moving back and forth. There are 4 of those fins, 1 on each quadrant. And at this angle, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see the BE-3 engine gimbaling back and forth, but the gimbal of the engine plus those fins are what direct the rocket both on ascent, but obviously the rocket, because it comes back to land, also upon descent to make sure it ends up right on its landing pad 2 miles north of where it's taken off from. All right. Final countdown. Let's turn it over to mission control. Let's light this candle.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Start. And liftoff.
New Shepard has cleared the tower. The rocket and our astronauts are heading up to space. Now you can follow along in the bottom left of your screen, the altimeter on the left, excuse me, the altimeter on the right and the speedometer on the left.
10,000 feet.
All right, as we go through this flight, there are a couple of milestones here. The first one will be max Q. That's when the dynamic pressures are the highest on the vehicle. We go from 100% power, pull it back a little bit as we go through max Q, and then ramp her back up to 100%.
Okay, maximum pressure.
Max G should be in about 10 seconds. Vehicle. Now I understand that separation of the capsule from the booster has been confirmed, and 0G has started for our astronauts. Shortly here, we're going to let them unbuckle and enjoy the beauty of floating around in 0G, but of course, the spectacular views out of those windows. And I'll say that having passed over 330,000 feet, they are over the Kármán line, so welcome to space, astronauts. And there we go. Apogee at just about 347,000 feet or so. Of course, we'll confirm our official figure at the end or after the webcast. All right, you see the booster that is headed down. You see the drag fins, the drag brakes that have just deployed. Those cut the speed of the booster in half. Also at the top of the rocket there, you see the forward fins. They kind of look like pie slices, one on each quadrant. That helps keep the vehicle stable. And there we go, BE-3 engine relight. Landing gear deployed.
50 feet, 8 feet per second. Touchdown. Auto started.
And touchdown. Welcome home, New Shepard. What a beautiful flight to space and back for that booster. Man, it feels good to be flying again, Jackie. Taking our astronauts to space and back. It is, I mean, every day is a good day at the rocket factory, but flying people never gets old.
And I love that West Texas desert dust that gets kicked up, and it's once it clears, a landed booster. It's like a magic trick.
Exactly. Oof, booster just arrived. Yeah, it definitely adds to the drama of landing a rocket from space. And, you know, as we say, landing the rocket is just really one of the proudest moments because it shows the incredible engineering. It isn't magic. It is not magic, Jackie. The engineering that has gone into building, designing, testing, flying, but bringing this rocket home from space, ready to be reused. You see, very quickly thereafter, the forward fins come back in, the drag brakes come back in. You look like you just fuel her up and launch her from there and get ready to go again. But the show is not over. The crew capsule has deployed its guide parachutes and its mains. Everything looking nominal on today's flight. Looks like we do have 2 parachutes that have full inflation. The third is not quite fully inflated. But actually, Jackie, this is part of the design. In fact, we were talking about my first webcast. The first webcast that we did, we tested a chute out. There are multiple redundant factors in this system, and so landing with 2 parachutes is perfectly okay for this system. You'll also see the dust take out at the base of the capsule as she comes in to land. That is the air cushioning system. It's going to kick up a lot of that West Texas dust you just talked about, but there it is, touchdown of the crew capsule. A beautiful flight for our rocket, for our crew capsule, for our 6 new astronauts, Mason, Sylvain, Ken, Carol, Gopi, and Ed. You are officially astronauts. Welcome home, everybody. Now, our team has started operations to safely recover our astronauts from the crew capsule. We send out our safety crew as soon as we have visual connection with the crew capsule coming back from space. So they are well on their way out to meet the crew capsule there. What you're going to see as soon as they get there, the first person on the ground, crew member 7, we've talked about them before, so in this case it'll be Laura Stiles. She's going to go around to each one of the windows, make sure that we've got a thumbs up check from each one of the astronauts. Then you will see the rest of the crew around, safing the capsule, making sure that anything that needs to be vented is vented, we ground it. And then you will see them bring out a set of stairs. The hatch is about a meter or so, a couple of feet off of between the base of the hatch and the Texas floor, so we want them to have a nice smooth exit. And then we bring their friends and family out there.
Then it's time to celebrate.
It's time to celebrate. They've just become astronauts. They've achieved this incredible, it's an incredible thing that they've been dreaming about since they were kids, and finally it's happened. There you go, see part of the operations crew in the background.
Being part of, a group of human beings that have shared a very intimate and unusual experience.
Well, and I should add, Chris, talking about 6 new astronauts that are going to share that bond with you. We have just opened the hatch of the crew capsule. Here comes Ken Hess. Oh, Sharon, I love it.
All right.
Carol, welcome back.
Unbelievable.
Sylvain. And here exits Ed Dwight. This gentleman has waited a long time to go to space.
Long time coming.
Selected in the early 60s as the first black astronaut to fly, although he did not get to fly then. Today was his opportunity, and man, what a flight for him. Finally, an official astronaut.
I'm ready. Thank you, everyone.
Gopi Thotakura.
Gopi can add spaceship to the litany of vehicles that he's flying.
Exactly. Put that in his logbook.
That's right.
And of course, Mason, welcome home.
Leo will be very excited to see Mason back on Earth.
Yay, you're down. Here, love you. Come right on over here.
There's crew member 7, Laura Stiles, assembling our newly minted astronauts.
Overwhelmed with everything you can think of. And I thought I really didn't need this in my life, but now I need it in my life. This is fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for being part of this.
All right, I am ecstatic.
Ecstatic. Did anything surprise you? What was it like looking at Earth?
Well, yeah, the transitions about the separations and stuff were a little bit more dynamic. I mean, they weren't nice, smooth, but that's how it's supposed to be. But it makes your mind wander. There's something wrong with it. But no, it was absolutely terrific, and the view. I mean, just even I couldn't see it, I could see it. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. This is a life-changing experience. Everybody needs to do this.
Everybody needs to do this.
She hasn't done it yet.
Oh, you have?
No, sir.
What?
a life-changing experience. Everybody needs to do this. I think that is the quote. And it's so spot on the nose from Ed Dwight, from, again, a gentleman who's been waiting 60-plus years to do this. And if anybody knows, about how to prepare for space,
the crew
etc.,
endurance, right?
Yeah, and he did it. And that is his
They really
takeaway.
spent some time caring and taking care.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was trying to make a comparison of what I've done 60 years ago.
Yeah, tell us about it.
How spry. Back in the day, making the world happen. But this is just absolutely fabulous. And I thought I didn't need it in my life.
That's right. That's what you said this morning.
Yeah.
You've been thinking for 60 years, I don't need it.
But I lied.
You were lying. You were lying. You needed it and you got it. You got it, Ed.
I really didn't need it. Okay.
You are an astronaut.
Because it was the first real deal that I got involved in that I wasn't successful at. And that was a part that, because everything else I had done had all these little incremental successes,
Right.
They weren't gigantic, but they were.
You had a lot of, don't be humble, you had a lot of successes.
And to not finish this, really in the back of my mind. So I had to sublimate it and make it go away and say, well, I didn't need that anyway, But I did, and I wish I'd gotten it then. But it's great. That's all I can say. It's
great.
Absolutely fabulous.
Well, we are so happy for you.
You guys are the best of the best of the best.
No.
No, I'm serious. But I was talking to Dave last night. We were sitting and chatting, and if that guy one time said, "God, I love this job. I love this job." I look at this grown man talking about he loves this job. What the hell is that? It's absolutely fabulous. So everybody in the organization, I don't know whether you guys took some true serum. I don't know.
Did you see his glasses?
Huh?
Did you show him your glasses?
How did the glasses work?
It was perfect. I was moaning and groaning because the icons looked too small.
Okay.
Once the glasses got on, and it was like it was,
just like your practice panel.
Yeah. Because all the other times I saw it, I mean, I couldn't even see it. It was so tiny. I was wondering why they made it so tiny on the simulator.
Right.
But the size of it and the real deal is just there.
Good.
Which is absolutely terrific. So
That's wonderful.
So it was worth the $4,000.
Oh.
Yeah.
We are so happy for you. So happy for you. Can we get you?
I think you heard it right there, Jackie and Chris. What an extraordinary day for all of us here at Blue Origin, but especially for our 6 newest astronauts. We were just listening to Ed Dwight. Ed, as we mentioned, was selected back in the 60s to become the first black astronaut. Unfortunately, didn't get to fly back in the day, but we were able to fulfill his dream. And you could tell that he had kind of talked himself out of it. Like, I didn't need this in my life. I didn't need this in my life. And then you heard him say right now, oh wait, yeah, no, actually I did. No, this is actually as cool and as life-changing and as touching as I thought it was going to be.
And training,
so just
extraordinary. I think I was in another simulation. I was not. And it's thanks to you and everybody. It's amazing. It really is.
Thank you. Tell me more about the view. Woo! As I pull your glasses off, tell me more.
It's not like movies. It's really not. You have to see it with your eyes to really, really, really take it in. And I looked at it for the first time when we were asked that separation happened.
Yeah.
I got a glance of it, but then when you start to look at it, I started to look at it, and then my legs went up. I was like, I don't want to leave it. I want to go back to it. I want to go back to
What
it.
did Victor tell you?
Look outside.
Look outside.
But I can't tell you what it is to just look outside. And it's not the curvature. That's why as soon as I came out, I told Phil and Dave, and I said, Daddy's going, and everybody else should go to space.
What do you think? Are you ready? Are you about ready?
One is good.
One is good.
No, but everybody should
Take
go.
your word for it.
And I think it happens very quick. The 5Gs, you feel every second of it. Oh yeah, you feel every second of it. You'll see me doing some things in there, but you'll feel it. But everything else apart, it was good to see us from the other side, and that's what I started with. It's good to see us from the other side, and what you guys have designed and done here. I think every person standing on this planet should go and witness it to really understand what it is, because I can't describe it to you, and I won't. You should go up there and see it. But yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing him back safe.
Yes. Oh, all right. Oh, here we go. Hello, sir.
Hello, thank you so much. Wow. All right.
Oh my gosh,
that was
welcome
incredible.
back.
I'm not back yet quite.
Yeah, well, it might take
What an incredible day for all of us, and especially our crew on board. Mason Angel, Sylvain Chiron, Ken Hess, Carol Schaller, Gopi Thotakura, and Ed Dwight. It was an absolute honor to fly you to space and back today with Blue Origin.
And if you would like to follow in the pioneering footsteps of these astronauts and purchase your own seat on a future ride to space, please visit blueorigin.com and click Fly to Space. Your own journey to visit the Kármán line is closer than you think.
Yeah, absolutely, Jackie. And if you're not, don't quite want to buy a ticket yet, you can start with a mission patch.
Dip your toe with a mission patch.
Dip your toe with a mission patch. It's the gateway. This is our mission patch from today. You probably saw that on the flight suits of our astronauts. You too can buy one of these mission patches to add to your collection or find some other cool Blue Origin gear at our Blue Origin shop. That is a sweet-looking patch. There are some Easter eggs in there. Jackie, do you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, that's right, Ariane. The NS-25 patch features the Gemini spacecraft, which represents Ed Dwight's aerospace training era, and the hand lifting the crew capsule is a nod to his really unique and amazing artwork. The sunrise represents Mason Angel and Carol Schaller's desire to experience the overview effect. The mountains symbolize Carol Schaller, Gopi Thotakura, and Sylvain Chiron's passion for climbing and skiing. The leaf design on the crew capsule is a nod to Ken Hess and the family heritage software he developed. The patch is a really cool one, and it incorporates all of our astronauts in a really special way from today's flight.
Now, if you would like to join our team and help build the road to space, we have hundreds of positions open across all of our facilities, including machinists and programmers from Florida to LA to Alabama to up here in Kent, Washington. Go to our website, check it out, blueorigin.com/careers.
Yeah, come work with Ariane and I.
Come work with the two of us. All right, everybody, my name is Ariane Cornell. For Jackie Cortez, a special thank you to Chris Bosshausen. To all of you for joining us from around the world. Until our next launch, Gradatum Ferociter.
Have you ever dreamed of going to space and gazing back on Earth through some of the largest windows that have ever flown in space? We certainly have.
Like 10, 9.
A once-in-a-lifetime journey is closer than you think. It's your time to join the new generation of astronauts. To book your flight, visit blueorigin.com and click Fly to Space. Tell us as much as you can about yourself. We welcome you to the final frontier.